It was raining that morning. Not the gentle kind of rain that washes the world clean, but the heavy, relentless kind that seems to soak into your bones. The sky was gray, the streets slick, and the air carried that sharp chill that comes when autumn is losing its fight against winter. I remember pulling my coat tighter as I walked to the bus stop, my breath fogging in front of me. It was supposed to be just another day, another Monday, another quiet commute to work. But deep down, I wasn't really there. My body was walking, but my mind was somewhere else entirely, back in the sterile white rooms of hospitals, back to the weeks that had felt like years, sitting beside my daughter's bed. Mia had been sick, really sick. We had spent months shuffling between doctors, clinics, and long nights with machines beeping beside her. I still couldn't forget the way her little hand felt when she held mine, her voice whispering that she didn't want to go back to the hospital again. She was better now, or at least the doctors said she was. Her cheeks had color again. Her laughter had started to return, softly, like sunlight breaking through clouds. But a part of me, a big part, was still terrified that it could all come back, that any small thing could take her away from me again. That morning, I remember thinking, maybe life will finally start to feel normal again. I was wrong, because that morning, life had one more test waiting for me. The rain was falling harder as I turned down the street leading to my workplace. There weren't many people out, just umbrellas bobbing along and the distant rumble of thunder still echoing somewhere in the hills. That's when I heard it. A sound, faint, broken, a cry that didn't belong to the rain. At first I thought it was the wind, maybe the squeak of a gate. But then I heard it again, a sharp, trembling meow. I stopped. It came from somewhere near the edge of the road, near an old fallen tree trunk. The storm from last night must have brought it down, a thick, heavy piece of wood lying crooked across the muddy sidewalk. And underneath it, movement. I stepped closer, kneeling down despite the puddles. There, pressed into the mud, was a tiny orange kitten, soaked, shivering, barely breathing. The trunk had pinned her little back legs. She was trying to move, trying to cry, but the weight was too much. I felt something twist inside me, that same helpless, sinking feeling I'd had in the hospital, watching my daughter struggle to stay strong. Without thinking, I dropped my bag and got to work. The wood was slick, heavy. Every time I pushed, my boots slipped in the mud. The rain poured down harder, running down my neck, soaking my sleeves. The kitten let out another small cry, this time weaker. No, hang on, sweetheart. Just hang on, I whispered as if she could understand me. I tried again, bracing my shoulder against the trunk, using every ounce of strength I had left after a sleepless night. It didn't budge. For a moment, I just stood there, breathing hard, staring at her trembling body. Her fur was matted, her eyes half closed. She was fighting to stay awake, and something inside me broke. I thought of Mia, her voice saying, "Daddy, don't give up." I clenched my jaw, grabbed a metal pipe that was lying nearby, wedged it under the trunk, and pushed again, harder this time. A groan, a crack, and finally, the trunk shifted just enough. The kitten wriggled free. She tried to stand, but stumbled, collapsing into the mud. I scooped her up instantly, wrapping her in my coat. She was so small, no bigger than my hand. Her tiny body trembled uncontrollably, her heartbeat fluttering against my palm like a trapped bird. "You're okay now. I've got you," I whispered, as if she could understand me. For a long moment, I just stood there, the rain pouring down, holding that tiny, trembling life in my arms, and I realized I was crying too. I carried her with me all the way to the nearest vet clinic. By the time I got there, my clothes were dripping and my hands were numb, but I didn't care. The receptionist looked up in surprise when I came in. She was trapped under a tree," I said, my voice shaking. The vet, a kind woman with calm eyes, took the kitten from my arms and rushed her to the back room. I stood there, still dripping rainwater onto the floor, my heart thudding. A few minutes later, the vet returned. "She's okay," she said, smiling softly. "Cold, frightened, dehydrated, but nothing broken. She's lucky you found her when you did." I exhaled, a deep, shuddering breath I didn't even realize I'd been holding. "What's her name?" the vet asked. I looked at the tiny orange kitten curled up on the towel. Her fur, now drying, looked like flickers of firelight. "Ginger," I said. "Her name is Ginger." The vet nodded. "That suits her." They gave her a small injection, cleaned her up, and wrapped her in a warm blanket. I stayed the whole time, watching her breathe, tiny chest rising and falling. When they finally handed her back to me, I felt an odd calm, the kind I hadn't felt in months. Maybe it was the quiet after the storm. Maybe it was the simple miracle of watching something survive. By the time I got home, the rain had stopped. The air still smelled of wet earth and cold pavement. When I opened the door, my youngest daughter ran to greet me. But Mia, my oldest one, was sitting on the couch, pale and tired. She looked up weakly. "Hi, Dad." "Hey, sweetheart," I said softly. "Rough day?" She shrugged. "Just tired." Then she saw the small bundle in my arms. Her eyes widened. "Is that a kitten?" I nodded, smiling. "Her name is Ginger. She needed help." Mia sat up straighter. For the first time in weeks, I saw a spark in her eyes, that same light that the sickness had dimmed. "Can I hold her?" she whispered. "Of course," I said, gently handing Ginger to her. The kitten meowed softly, curling into Mia's lap. Her hands trembled as she stroked her tiny head, and then she smiled. A real smile, the kind that lights up a whole room. My other daughter came running, laughing with delight. Together, they began fussing over Ginger, wrapping her in a soft towel, whispering to her as if she were made of glass. The house, which had felt so quiet, so heavy for months, was suddenly alive again, filled with laughter, little giggles, and the sound of Ginger's faint purrs. That night, after the girls went to bed, I stood by their door for a long time. Mia was asleep, her hand resting on Ginger, who had crawled up beside her pillow. They both looked peaceful. Two fragile souls healing together. And in that moment, I understood something. Sometimes life gives us small signs, tiny, trembling things that remind us that hope isn't gone, that even after the storms, after the fear and pain, something warm and good can still find its way back into our lives. Ginger wasn't just a kitten I found in the rain. She was a reminder that saving one small life can save more than one heart. Sometimes the universe tests us not with loss, but with love. A small, fragile chance to care again, when we thought we couldn't. That day, I went out in the rain to go to work and came home with something far more important. A second chance. A heartbeat of hope. A little orange kitten named Ginger.